Alright, well, welcome back to another killer video today. And today we have a bit of a special video, going to be more of an analytical one. I was just playing some killer on my own and decided to play a little bit of Freddy Krueger. Just had an itch to play the Nightmare here. And I actually ended up getting a really great game against a three-man survive with friends. And honest to God, I think they just gave up. It really felt like they had no chance thanks to Freddy being as strong as he is. And you'll notice that I kept the generators I think they only did one or two generators the entire game, which is insane. I do want to mention though, they did actually bring an offering for one of the worst maps for survivors in the game, so of course they made it a little bit harder on themselves. So by no means this is just completely Freddy being overpowered. They did also bring us to one of the best killer maps. But today we're going to be going over that, analyzing why I made certain decisions in certain situations, what mistakes I made, what things I did, what mistakes the survivors made, how did I try and capitalize, stuff like that. So let's get right into the build today. On Friday, I'm going to be running my typical Freddy build. I'm running barbecue and chili here. Every time I hook somebody, any survivor that's 40 meters or more away from the hook gets revealed to me for 4 seconds, so it allows me to know where to teleport with Freddy's power, of course, which allows him to teleport to generators. And it also gives you extra blood points towards the end of the game. Since I only have it at tier 1, it's all the way up to 50% extra blood points, so you can get up to double blood points towards the end of the game. Next up we have Sloppy Butcher. And frankly, I just have this perk here. I think I said this in my last Freddy video actually, but I mostly just have this perk here because I don't really have anything better on Freddy, and you don't really need too much better. Freddy's a really strong killer, so it really doesn't matter too much what your build is, as long as you know how to use them effectively. What Sloppy Butcher does, however, is whenever you go for a basic attack, which is all Freddy can do, he has no special attacks like a pig dash or a Demogorgon lunge, stuff like that. But whenever you go for a basic attack with Sloppy Butcher, it applies the Mangled status effect and the Hemorrhage status effect. So what this means is they're going to be bleeding more, and it's going to take longer for them to heal, which basically just slows the game down that extra bit more, which Freddy is absolutely fantastic at. Next up we have Discordance, and Discordance is probably one of the best gen information perks in the game. What this perk does is whenever you touch it, whenever more than one survivor gets on a generator, it lights that generator up in yellow and gives you a sound notification. And every 8 seconds it refreshes to check to see, hey, is there still 2 survivors on this generator? And if it, after those 8 seconds, there's still 2 survivors, it'll refresh again, it'll make the sound notification, it'll stay yellow. Whenever one of those survivors gets off that generator and it does that 8-second check, it'll stop lighting up as yellow and it'll go back to being red. And this is why you want Discordance 1 as opposed to Discordance 3. This is one of the few perks in the game that you want at a lower tier, because at the lower tier it refreshes faster. If you take it all the way up to level 3, I believe it refreshes every 12 seconds as opposed to 8 seconds. So having it at tier 1 basically just gives you more updated information on generators. And last but not least, this is a staple of most of my builds. I think I run it on almost every single killer. Pop Goes the Weasel. And Freddy really is the strongest killer to use Pop Goes the Weasel on, because of his ability to teleport directly to a generator no matter where it is on the map. As long as it's not completed, he can just instantly kick it down to 25% or 25% less after he hooks somebody. So that just allows you to put so much pressure on the map, and Freddy can honestly kind of 3-gen survivors with generators that are spread out around the map because of a perk like Pop Goes the Weasel. Now for the add-ons, we have pretty basic add-ons as per usual. Today we have the wool shirt, so this will slightly increase the healing and repair penalties whenever people are asleep. Now, whenever you hit somebody as Freddy, or if enough time passes they fall asleep, and when they fall asleep, this means that they're going to be able to fall into your dream snares, which is the second part of your power, which basically just slows people down during loops, and it'll have their actions regress, or they'll have their actions slowed down, and the wolf shirt just amplifies this by a little bit extra. It essentially just gives you a little bit more time to get in there while people are healing, while people are repairing generators, and this pairs really well with Sloppy Butcher with Pop Goes the Weasel. And next up we have this sheep block, and again, honestly, I kind of just have this because I don't really want to put on anything else. this isn't the best add-on in the world. What this add-on does is whenever a survivor runs into a dream snare or a dream pallet, I usually use snares because snares are significantly better than the pallets. It'll make the survivors suffer from the blindness status effect, meaning they can't see any auras on the map. And this essentially allows you to try and go for some sneakier plays, especially if they have perks like alert, like object of obsession, that might allow them to see you. This blindness status effect, although it rarely comes into play, when it does, it is really helpful. But anyways, let's get right into the analysis. Okay, so first things first, as per usual, we take a look at what map we're playing, and the underground complex here is a pretty pretty killer-sided map, rather. Most of these pallets are really unsafe. And you'll notice whenever I play Freddy, I tend to play snares just off the bat right away, because it's just free points, really. There's no reason not to, in my opinion. But once you get a bearing of where you are on the map, it is generally a nice idea to try and figure out where the furthest generators are from you and go and check them out. So this is what I'm doing right here. I see scratch marks really early on, meaning that I know there's at least one person up here, and I can hear them running above me. And I come over and she drops immediately, so I immediately go for a chase on her, but I hear a totem to my left, and I check to see what it is. I see this person kind of caught out in the middle of nowhere, and then a third person just happens to drop, and I see that all three of these people are Nias with the exact same skin, so right away I know it's a Survive with Friends group that are probably going to be trying kind of hard, or trying to bully just a little bit. But anyways, I commit here for the Nia free hit early on. It's exactly what you're looking for, and right here, you're going to pay attention. She doesn't use a Dead Hard at all, so right away, I'm not expecting Dead Hard out of this Nia. She got really greedy and thought I would respect the pallet, but I just walked straight through it, and it gave me a free down. And I do hear my dream snare get triggered, and I look over towards the general direction to see where it is, and it gives me a general idea of where some survivors are on the map. Now I start to teleport towards this generator up top, but I see that all three survivors are each on separate generators further away from here, so I don't really worry too much about it. So I come kick this close generator because my teleport is on cooldown. And I don't think they've had enough time, considering all three of them were just at this close generator to me right now. And I come back over here, I'm trying to figure out where the survivors are trying to get to, and honestly I thought they were going to be on this generator, so I teleported straight to it, but nobody's over here, which is, I mean it's fine. Now this snare I placed right there is extremely important. It's under a drop down from the second floor, and you'll see exactly why it's important later on. But once the unhook goes down, I come back to try and pressure it, and I actually see this injured Nia, but I don't really want to go for her. I have Sloppy Butcher, meaning it's going to take her a while to heal, and I swing for this first Nia, or the second Nia rather. I missed the first time around, but the second time I do hit her. Now, I don't know which Nia I'm chasing right now because they all have the same skin. This is why you see Survive with Friends bring the same skin over and over again. And as I said before, I didn't expect her to have Dead Hard considering she didn't use it before, but she makes a good use of it. No, I swung there because I thought there'd be a pallet around that corner, but I was wrong, and the pallet was on the opposite side. But she ends up screwing herself by dropping it and running away. She's playing really greedy. Honestly, I don't know what the hell that Nia was doing. She just ran straight into me, gave me a free down right there, and it put a ton of pressure on my side of the map. So now I'm just going to be going for this hook onto the Nia. I know the other one still has a decisive strike, and I see somebody running upstairs towards this generator. Generally, they don't go upstairs just to be up there. So I teleport up here and get a free hit onto him because he's not expecting it. And you'll see why that dream snare below is just so important. He dropped and had the stagger from running and also was slowed from the dream snare, meaning he was so slowed down, it's going to be basically impossible if I hit him up top and for him to get away when he got down below. I come place him in the basement, and basement's always a good idea as a killer if you can get it, because it takes so long for survivors to get out of the basement. And I do like putting a dream snare nearby as well, especially towards the mouth of the basement, considering that'll allow me to know when survivors are going in or out of the basement. I did see someone run over towards the right over here, so I teleported over, and I ended up catching one of them off guard. The other one did see me pretty early on, but this second one gives me a free hit right here. Now that dream snare going off means that there's somebody going towards the basement, but I don't have my teleport available, so I can't really contest it just yet, so I'm just going to commit to chasing this closer Nia instead. And you'll notice I put dream snares at choke points a lot, and this map's incredibly strong for Freddy because of that. He can really cut off a lot of these areas by making it difficult to get in there. Now, since we walked past the basement, I'm looking for the other people, and it's very hard to tell, but there's very faint scratch marks on the walls ahead of this Nia that she couldn't have made, so I know they're not waiting in the basement. Now this girl gives me a free hit right here for no reason, and I'm expecting her to go down the stairs. I don't know where the hell she is though, because the scratch marks didn't go anywhere, and I think she just kind of lagged a little bit and ended up getting screwed over there. I heard someone drop down here, so that means that they're probably the person that was on this generator, but before I kick it, I want to pick up this Nia. And picking up top is generally kind of difficult because it might be hard to get to a hook. But I knew that the other stairs didn't have a hook, and this close one must have a hook instead then, because I'm pretty sure it's guaranteed to always have one of the stairs leading upstairs over here to have one hook. But anyways, I come kick this generator, pop goes a weasel, and this snare right here is another one of those snares that's just basically to give me information about when people are going to be trying to go for the unhook. I go for a teleport here. I saw the Jake off in the distance, and I'm trying to cut him off, but he didn't come to this generator like I thought he would. But since I hear, I might as well kick it. Now the snare went off up top, meaning that they're definitely going to be going for the unhook soon enough over here. There it goes, and I don't really have any pressure on the map right now. I'm not chasing anyone. I don't have anyone on the hook. I do have 2 people injured, and considering it's the survivor friends, I'm expecting them to probably be healing. So I come back towards the hook, and they get so greedy for this down. Whenever you see people healing, if you can try and punish a person that they are healing, it's always a good idea because they lose so much time because of it. Now I follow this Nia on the drop down, and this Jake just seems kind of lost. I feel kind of bad for him. I'm not really sure what he was doing, but he gives me a pretty free down. I see this Nia looking at me while I'm chasing her, so I teleport to this generator in front of her, knowing that she probably won't see where I'm coming from, and gives me a free down because she doesn't expect me to, and she ends up running into the dream snare on accident. Now I know where every survivor is on the map right now, at least a general idea of where they are. They just picked up the Nia on the stairs. So this means that I have plenty of time here to hook this Nia and come pressure the Jake. Now I'm going to teleport up top over here because odds are if they hear my terror radius, they're going to think I'm coming up the stairs towards them. I actually didn't realize what stairs they were on here at first, so I walked the wrong direction. But it doesn't matter, it still got me a pretty free hit because she had no idea where I was coming from. And I put a dream snare down up here, again, just to kind of know when people are transitioning up here, and it does also help me cut off that area. Now, both these Nias ended up running for the exact same target. That was a really greedy play from the injured Nia, which, you know, props to her. It gave her a lot of distance here, and it let her get to this loop. And I realized that I can definitely cut off this loop with a dream snare if I play it correctly. And this Nia pulls the biggest brain play I've ever seen and just runs right fucking at me, and my swing somehow misses. I missed a swing here. I just kind of messed around a little bit because I missed it. And if I didn't mess around, I would 100% would have been able to stop this heal from happening. But it's fine because this Jake's in a really shitty spot. And this is what I mean about these pallets being unsafe for survivors. They're such short loops that they can't really do too much about them. Now I looked down at the Jake right there while I was before picking him up to try and bait out a flashlight save. I know one of these Nias had a flashlight, and looking down makes it look like I'm going to be trying to go for the unhook. But none of them come for it, or not unhook, a pickup, but none of them come for the flashlight save, so I just put him on the hook and I try and teleport towards this Nia. And I don't know exactly where she is, but I do hear her whining a little bit. And I actually had given up completely on her at this point until she ran into my dream snare, and because I teleported, she had no idea where I was. This is honestly a pretty decent dead hard. She really didn't have too many other options, so trying to get away from me with that was definitely a pretty solid thing. I put her back on this stair hook though, and this allows me to put a dream snare somewhere nearby. I didn't actually see anyone on barbecue and chili, so it allowed me to know that the Nia's probably nearby, going to be going for the unhook soon enough. Now, something I heard in recording was a crow went off over towards the area of this pallet, but I didn't, or this generator rather, but I didn't hear that in game. So I probably could have cut off the Nia even more effectively, but unfortunately I just didn't hear that crow when I was playing the game. Now I don't know where she is, but I catch a glimpse of her running over towards the unhook way off in the distance here, so I'm going to teleport back up to this generator up top for the exact same reason as before. And I'm going to be going for a hit here. I don't want to go for the Nia that ran directly at me because I know that this other Nia that unhooked is awake instead of asleep, so she could have gotten barred time off, and I just go for a regular chase on her. Just walk straight through the pallet. Who cares if you get stunned, really? There's very few situations where getting stunned actually really hurts you, so it's much better to just walk through, force out the pallet instead of try and greet it. And you'll see exactly why right there. I try and go for a mind game at the pallet instead of just walking through, and I end up losing a lot of distance, but it doesn't matter because Freddy has some flying claws of fury, and I just go off the high ground and take a hit under her. Now, I am going to kick both these pallets before I pick her up, however, and I think this is generally what you want to be doing if you know that there's pallets nearby where you down somebody, because it really just comes down to efficiency. When you have somebody down, survivors tend to pause for a moment and try and figure out what you're doing. Are you going to pick up, or are you going to slug? And that gives you an opportunity to get there, to get some pallets out of the way. I see this neon barbecue and I teleport right above her, and there we go. That's an easy way to end off the game here. So you'll see why barbecue is so damn effective on Freddy. Because of his teleport, it really allows him to move around the map exactly how he wants to and it allows you to teleport ahead of people in the middle of chases or right before a chase even starts. It gives you free hits, really. And being able to recognize what directions survivors are going to run definitely helps out a lot when it comes to teleporting mid-chase. Of course, this map also is very strong for Freddy because they are pretty narrow hallways that they can't really veer off too much from. But there we go, that's exactly how you want to be playing Freddy on a map like this. And, you know guys, I'll see you in the next one.